Hey folks, back with ancient cosmology. Going back through some photos here. Got lots of things. We can see that the ancients knew that the earth was round and that there were people on all sides. This is the Egyptian Book of Two Ways map of America compared to what I think an Arab map. Salish Sea, the Indochina, basically Malay Peninsula, and the Book of Two Ways, with Phuket expanded, and Egyptian and Polynesian, or Pacific Islander symbolic maps, stick charts. There's, New Zealand's avatar, but actually his legs are the sea mounts that go all the way to Tonga and stuff like that, Fiji. But you can see his face at least, and his kilt, and his weird indents in his kilt. Alright, so basically, these are mostly from a few years back, so I've probably discussed most of these in some kind of video or other. He who controls history controls the future. Or he who controls, what is it? Something like that. I compared an Easter Islands Moai Kava Kava, like the wooden ancestor idol, whatever, with Karahan Tepe statue, near Göbekli Tepe, similar age, about 12,000 years old. And similar type of depiction. Stuff about Finn McCool. Finn McCool seems to basically be Britain, and then especially Skye and this area, that he's always putting his thumb in his mouth. So I think this is his fist, this is his thumb, this is his mouth. This island is also his thumb, in a different location, I think. And then this fish, I think, is, the Outer Hebrides. And he learns everything from Finnegas, who's this, the fisherman, but I think it's actually Orkney, which is where, all the British druids learned their magic from. That's where the megalithic Stonehenges began before they spread to England. This is stuff about the Egyptian Book of Two Ways, maps of America. Oh, I guess it's just different maps of America, different Egyptian maps of the underworld. So I think this is like the Gulf of Mexico. This is like Central America. Not sure why they cut it off, but I believe that's what it's based on. And these are all like America with, west up. So this is the West Coast and this is the East Coast. This is the Caribbean here. So, some are, usually each one will be better for certain details. This is pretty decent for Hudson Bay, at least. This one seems like it's also a diagram for building a boat or some kind of craft. The Druids. Yeah, see, Druids are just scientists. That's just the Gaelic name for a science, or a Celtic name for a scientist is a Druid. But real science is done through magic, or traditional science at least is done through magic, through symbolism. Just like this Native American, an Anishinaabe story about this geography. It's just a way to memorize cosmology, memorize geography and astronomy. Let's see. All right. So I think this stuff is a little bit on stuff I haven't covered too much. It's like basically Norse Hellspells, which, Hell, Valhalla, that's America, that's, the afterlife land. Hadding went with this woman under the earth. I think Hadding is also like a name of America, or it somehow might be related to that. Went with this woman under the earth. So that's like going to the underworld. Basically means any direction you go on the earth, you go under. But in this case, I think it has a specific meaning with regard to Greenland. They passed through mists and then through sunny, fertile regions where the herbs had grown. Then they came to a raging torrent flowing with weapons. Crossing by a bridge, they came upon armies of fallen warriors locked in eternal battle. So I think that Baffin Island is the main inspiration for this concept of armies, fallen warriors locked in eternal battle. That this is seen as like a warrior with kind of like a helmet on and a sword. And then this could be like another warrior with like a battle axe and like a decapitated head. But I think especially it's about Baffin and, and then this, I think it's called maybe Melville Peninsula or something like that. But so this would be like the bottom half part of his body maybe, and so he's cut in half, so he's slain, but he's still locked in battle. And then this one is potentially the beheaded person. They pressed forward, a wall stood in their way, they could go no further, but the woman tore off the head of a cock which she happened to have with her and flung it over the wall. Immediately the cock came to life and crowed. So I see this as potentially related to this, where, this is in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, near Newfoundland, like Newfoundland's just up a bit. These are separate photos. There's Newfoundland here, but in this one, Newfoundland would be like right here. So, this could relate where this is the head of the cock. Sometimes it's just, I think in some stories it's just called a chicken or something. And then this is the body, the tail, the kind of breast, and, the neck. Although the neck is also here. And then this would be the wall, potentially, like throwing the head of it over the wall of the underworld, over the wall of hell. But I think it also has a bigger meaning. I think it also, I suspect that its main meaning is this. It's actually seeing this, what, as in the Valhalla reference, is like a potentially a battle axe or somebody holding a battle axe. In this myth, it can be potentially like this could be the body of a chicken or a cock or whatever, and this is the head. It's less realist than this, which this one might be carved to like represent that in a smaller iteration that's more realist. But this is a good strait. Like, this is one of the first straits that was used to actually complete the Northwest Passage by some of the early explorers. I forget the name of that channel. So that myth could be to memorize that, to realize that once you pass the battling people, or you reach the battling warriors, you reach a wall, then you have to quote unquote cut off the chicken's head with your boat and go through. Boats were often compared to knives and swords in antiquity, carving up the ocean, carving it like a ham, sometimes said. All right. So yeah, here we see, I put some eyes on them, but this is how I'm seeing it. But it can also mean, it says there are warriors, but there's a lot of parts of this story where it seems like it's saying there's multiple of something where there's only one. So that could be a device that it's seen like, oh yeah, there's warriors, but really it's just the one. So I'm not 100% sure if this is considered to be this warrior or not, or if it's just that this is the main warrior and this is just a chicken and some island. Not totally sure. Hadding went with this woman under the earth. They passed through the mists and then through sunny, fertile regions where the herbs had grown. So I think like the misty area is like maybe some of the coastal area of Greenland, and that then the fertile regions where the herbs had grown could refer to some of these peninsulas that are like herbs. It could be, it says crossing by a bridge. So I suspect the bridge is